So yeah, if anybody thought I was skipping out on Disney talk on this channel, think again. The Sword and the Stone turned 60 years old in 2023. This one came out right around the time the Dark Ages in Disney animation started. This is of course based off of the famous fable talking about King Arthur, his upbringing and his origin essentially. And as an orphaned child, Arthur wants to help his foster brother Kay succeed in becoming a knight. And while helping his brother train, Arthur stumbles upon a cabin belonging to the eccentric and wise Merlin. And this bumbling wizard does his best to convince the boy that he's bound for greatness. And when Arthur travels to London to attend a jousting contest, they learn that Merlin was right. Learn being a key word in this synopsis because, let's face it, most of The Sword and the Stone is learning and education. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but come on. Is this really what you want to see in a Disney movie these days? Now granted, one of the most effective things about an animated Disney movie, or a children's movie for that matter, something that's aimed at children rather, it's the lesson at the end. And The Sword and the Stone is absolutely filled to the brim with them. This is one I really enjoyed as a kid, mainly because the slapstick in this thing, oh man, is it funny. I would honestly sit here and argue that the climax of The Sword and the Stone is one of Disney's funniest. Merlin and Mad Madam Mims in a magical duel where they're just sitting on each other trying to become the biggest animal possible. This may just be the childish part of me liking something funny, but you know what? It. I still like it at 26 years old. And I think the animation on this movie is very good. You do notice a lot of the stencil markings in the animation itself, and I think for a story like this, it works. The music is also very good. It definitely sounds like something that would be blaring over the system in Fantasyland anytime you walk through there. But the overall story of this movie, this is supposed to be about King Arthur and his upbringing, right? How did he get Excalibur from Sword and the Stone? That sword is only really referenced in the beginning of the movie, and then the very end. And then when it's finally brought up at the very end, when, spoiler alert, yeah, King Arthur pulls the sword out of the stone, Excalibur, who would have thunk it? Everybody knows what Excalibur is. But it's like the whole middle portion of this movie, yeah, they're talking about destiny all the time, and they're talking about how Arthur is going to live up to his ultimate potential. But that sword is never really a catalyst in this narrative at all. And for something that's the title of your movie, you would expect it to be a lot more prevalent than it actually is. And actually sitting here thinking more and more about it, this is a pretty fun King Arthur adaptation, all things considered. But man, nobody even tries to do an English accent in this thing. Overall, the performances, I think, are very good from the voice cast that they got. I love Merlin being this bumbling wise wizard here as your mentor. I've already talked about Mad Madam Mims as well. And Arthur himself is a very curious, naive character that you really enjoy getting behind. But is it just me, or is it very much obvious that the actor who is voicing him hit puberty during production? Like, listen to some of these scenes. Back to back, it'll sound like two different kids.
Oh, Sir Actor. Whoa, what? Whoa!
Like, I'm sorry, that's a serious production flaw. But you know what? Despite those issues, I mean, Sword in the Stone is a cute little movie. I enjoyed it as a kid. I still enjoy it now as a grown man. But it's movies like this where you really started to see a downward turn in Disney's trajectory up until the Renaissance. You had movies like Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella come around that were classified hits. And yeah, I guess you could put Jungle Book in that category as well. That came out the year Walt Disney himself passed away. Sword in the Stone wasn't really up there in terms of quality, unfortunately. But you know what? I think there's still enough fun in here. This is still Disney, all things considered. But not the strongest story, not even the most interesting narrative that you'll see about King Arthur. Heck, if I want to watch a King Arthur adaptation, I just go watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail or Spamalot or something like that. Like, that's a lot more fun. But I'm going to go ahead and give The Sword and the Stone a B-. Yeah, definitely don't think this is in Disney's upper echelon by any stretch. But what do you guys think of Sword in the Stone? Let me know down in the comments section below. Is this your favorite classic Disney movie of all time? If not, what is it? As always, I love discussing all new things in movies and entertainment. I love discussing all things geeky in the Disney realm as well. If these are all topics that sound appealing to you, do become a subscriber. Tap on that notification bell as well. That way you guys don't miss a second more of the action. And please do hit that thumbs up as well, because that's a huge help too. Stay tuned for more exciting videos hitting this channel very, very soon. And in the spirit of Valentine's Day, Like I said, I wanted to do more Disney reviews on this channel, and I'm going to keep that promise here. Celebrating its 15th anniversary, it just got a release from the Criterion Collection. We're going to be looking at WALL-E. Jumping forward in the timeline and going over to Pixar next time. But stay tuned for WALL-E and much, much more. Go check out my review of Knock at the Cabin if you haven't already. Go see that in the theater. I can't stress that enough. Knock at the Cabin was awesome. But guys, y'all are the best. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.